All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to the round 28 Game Day Squad football show brought to you by the Game Day Society. I am Mark and I'm joined by Zonald again, as always. Mine notice the screen looks a little bit different because we're doing a bit of a speed run show tonight where we will go through position by position rather than fixture by fixture, just so we can cram as much information as possible into the 30-minute window we have assigned. So we can all jump over to Fantasy Bros channel or Discord or wherever it is and jump into some bingo that they're hosting tonight. So, Donald, first of all, how'd you go last week?
Oh, terrible. I think it was like 89th in Classic.
Yeah, I was pretty garbage as well. Like slowly falling. Like I'm on the verge of like falling into the second pool of the Classic Cup, which when does that start actually? That must be soon.
31, so 30's the last week for the qualies.
So I need to, I say this every week, I need to zone in, but it's obviously not making any difference because I'm still falling. But yeah, any standout performances, any fumbles from last week that you can think of?
Faden Haaland. That was a big stinger. The problem was, like, while he only assisted, he actually did stuff that wasn't score for once, which after the game, they were actually breaking down his last few performances and he's been like playmaking a bit more, which just means we're probably going to see even bigger scores from him.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of, well, I mean, I never really should have jumped off the Haaland train, but I'm definitely back on it now as a kind of confident set and forget again. Like there was a period where I was like, oh, he's probably not going to be the best 3 or 4 scorers, so the smart move is to leave him out. But then I wasn't picking the players that were going better than him anyway, so it's better just to kind of take the good score that's not the best score. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I also faded Haaland. I played Mamouche in one of my teams though, because I was convinced he was going to start and dominate again. He did equally good as Haaland though, so that wasn't the biggest burn. But you know, having an all-star Haaland card just sitting in your reserves is a bit of a stinger. But let's just jump straight into round 28. We've got a few questions from the Discord earlier. Obviously, if you're watching live, jump in the chat. I can see there's already one from Peter Quicksilver there. So we will do our best to answer all these as we go through. We're not going to do fixture by fixture. We're going to instead do position by position, just so we can kind of get through the less important, I guess, things a bit quicker. So we also do have a bit of a big announcement at the end, which is a little bit kind of probably explains why we haven't been as active as we have been previously. It's an exciting announcement, but we'll save it till the end. But first up, I'm just going to show you the new dashboard that I'm going to be using that I've built to hopefully share, the positions a bit better for you. So hopefully, I'll see if I'll get us out of there just so we can see it a bit better. But hopefully if you're in full screen, that's big enough. This is something I've built just to show the previous round as well as the future rounds, so we can kind of track position by position who we're looking at for the round. Let's just run through. I know we talked about last round, but Henderson was huge, hey? Like just almost felt like out of nowhere.
Well, frustrating as well because the Lacroix injury news came late because of their midweek game. I think it was after we streamed. And a lot of people didn't get that information. So their opinion on Crystal Palace not conceding because it was Wolves didn't change. Whereas it ended up being real bad for people that figured it out or knew about it because a lot of people jumped off of Palace with just Richards and probably Munoz back there. And then on top of that, Palace got even luckier with the penalty against them and the save to Henderson. So that could have been like turned around and been real bad the complete opposite way.
Yeah, it kind of felt like one that shouldn't have gone right, but it did. So anyone who had them good on him. But I'm still going to be bitter about it.
Yeah.
In saying that as well, a few other keepers went really bad that we would be expecting. You can see over here on the right, I've got the disappointment column, and
Yeah,
Royce
Royce
went
was popular.
-2. Yeah. Normally he's kind of like the stable pick where you're just, comfortable that no matter how many they concede, he'll get enough kind of points. But he kind of hit that tipping point where he conceded too many and didn't
He didn't get any
actually do something.
saves. Like it was just
Yeah.
like every shot that they had went in.
Yeah. So that's like Henderson, obviously huge, 10 points more than the next. Eze, another person who should have been pretty unpopular pick, I would have thought, based on, I guess,
Yeah,
lack of confidence.
that he'd
Oh,
start. I
jeez.
didn't even expect him to play at all.
No. Even looking down this like top 10, there's not a heap of players that you would kind of think would be walk-up starters to most of our teams. So, um, O'Reilly's, would be a great pick if he was a defender in this, but because he's a midfielder.
He is playing
I mean,
midfield
he's
now, though.
almost, that's the thing, he's almost turning into a good pick. And probably talk about that when we get to the midfield section. But yeah, it was a bit of an interesting week. So I'm frustrated that I didn't do better, but I can also see why I didn't do that well because, to pick most of these players would have been pretty impressive if you did it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Mel's in the comments there. I had Hendo. All right, well, good on you, Mels. But yeah, so what we'll do, we'll quickly run through each position and we will, we'll just kind of run through what we're thinking for our selections. Full disclosure, I haven't even started making my side this round. I don't know about you, Zonald, if you've got of course you got yours locked in.
I set mine start of the week.
Because you play 3 rounds ahead, don't you? So, look, this is what I need to kind of, focus in. So starting off, it's a bit harder doing it this way because we don't see the fixtures as prominently, but Bournemouth for Sunderland for Petrovic looks like he should kind of come out pretty nicely in that.
So I'm even more confident on that particular one because Miller's been ruled out. So Mukiele Miller. And so has Brobby. So both on each end of the field, they're going to be weakened. And they already were. Xhaka's probably going to now start that he's had I think he was benched for the first game back. So he'll add a bit to them, but he'll still be underdone, which means I just think they're away as well. And we know Sunderland aren't great away compared to home. So I feel like it's a really targetable fixture for Bournemouth in general.
Yeah. Petrovic has had some pretty decent scores, and they tend to be against the worst teams, I would say, as well, like coming up against West Ham and Wolves, like 20+ scores in the, I guess that makes sense for a keeper, but a lot of the time we think that our keepers don't have enough to do in those kind of games. So
I think Bournemouth, they're ones that concede chances, and against the lower teams, it's probably going to be less likely chances, so lower XG, which means easier saves for Petrovic to then accumulate the points. So Bournemouth, just in general, are good for even against the lower teams allowing shots.
Yeah, that's right. Next up on the list of, I guess, how I see them kind of scoring this round, I've got Emi Martinez as well, purely just because he's capable of doing that consistent score. Last week, disappointing against Leeds, probably not enough to do, and then didn't capitalize on anything. But I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I've got him in my teams at the moment. Is like Wolves have been better. They obviously drew with Arsenal, so I think Villa will be a lot better at not letting those late chances come about as a goal. So I could see them holding off for like a 1-0 win, 2-0 win sort of thing, which means Martinez is still probably going to get some saves to make.
Yeah, and what I really like about Martinez is like just that, I guess the highs are high. So that's in a game where we're probably not expecting him to score to concede too much. He's away, but it's against Wolves, so I think it's a pretty decent fixture. The next few going down were kind of sitting in like a similar boat, and I don't know how much you want to talk about them or look at them, because I guess our keeper decision is probably one of the least important ones we make each week, almost, just because there's only, well, is it the least important or the most important? Because
Yeah, like you got the least amount of positions you got to pick for it, so you'd think it'd be more. A lot of people would match each other unless there was a
yeah,
huge variety, which this week it doesn't seem like there's a huge amount.
yeah.
Like the top, there's two to three clear top ones, and then there's some you could take swings on.
Hmm. So who after those two would you be thinking as people to consider if you maybe got the better card options for them?
Well, in my notes, I had Newcastle because last time they did a number on Everton, and we know they're not overly attacking anymore. So
Hmm.
Pope might be a decent pick who was really good at the start of the season. We
Yeah.
know he can make saves. So Allison have got there because beaten 2-0 last time. West Ham haven't been great still. So I could definitely see Liverpool in the form they've started to get towards holding out a clean there. I've got
Yeah.
City, so Donnarumma. I
Yep.
think that they'll go pretty well. Like I've been saying the last few weeks, Leeds overly attacking play means I'm staying away from defenders they come up against. And I know they
Mhm.
did score a couple of times against City last time, but I feel like it'll just benefit Donnarumma and Mark Wehi to get those defensive actions, those saves from Leeds being overly attacking. I could see them holding
Yeah.
them out here and getting a clean sheet.
Yeah. No, I fully agree. I think, to be honest, I will be going the top two there though, Petrovic and
Yeah, I'm
Martinez.
leaning towards the same. Jose
Yeah.
Sarf want to take a bit of a risk just because Villa have only scored one max in their past four Premier League
Mhm.
games, so they're still struggling with that creativity. I don't think they've
Yep.
beaten Wolves in the past four home games either.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I feel like that's probably less relevant this season in terms of the trajectory of both teams, but
Mm.
still, they're two teams that they should have been able to get a win there. All right. That's probably enough with keepers because there's more like bigger positions I want to dive into, and I'm
Yeah,
conscious of the time here. Defenders. So this is kind of where things are starting to shake up a little bit, I reckon, towards the end of the season. Because previously it's just been Gabriel sitting at the top of my list as the number one option for defenders, but it's kind of less. What's the word? It's less
important
obvious.
to yeah,
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
like if you look at the most recent scores, yeah, I mean, 12s, 13s, they're good scores, but they're not like what
They're
we
keeping less
were
clean
expecting.
sheets,
Exactly.
and they've got a rough fixture this week against Chelsea, so it might be because
Mhm.
obviously a lot of people will just go same, like they'll not think about it too much, not look at the fixtures, and just go, okay, Gabriel, pick him because he's high averaging. So I think it could be a good advantage this week to steer clear.
Yeah, okay. So you'd consider dropping him this
Yeah,
week?
I don't have him in any of my teams at the moment.
Yeah, huge. Is that all Arsenal defenders or is it
Yeah, or
specifically?
Arsenal.
Yeah.
The only one I'm really thinking of is David Raya because I think he could get enough saves. But then again, there's better keepers, so I'm probably not going to go near him.
Yeah. No, that's fair. The one who sits pretty comfortably at the top of the list here, based on, I guess, recent form, is Virgil van Dijk, which is nice to see. Hey, I guess especially for you as
Yeah,
a Liverpool fan. But yes, there's been a few goals which have pumped up those numbers, but the clean sheets are there for Liverpool as well, which is nice.
yeah, he's close to first pick this week for me in my teams, or the ones that I have him
In
in.
Yeah, in terms of first pick defender or first pick overall.
In general, it's just like it's a good fixture. I think he was pretty dominant in the air last time they played too. I know West Ham have
Mhm.
signed a few better, bulkier strikers, but I think he has similar impact. West Ham struggle from defending set pieces, particularly away, so I could see him scoring in this as well.
Yeah. I got a question there which I didn't see pop up, but could we consider fading Gabriel? Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
definitely could. In fact,
for
you
sure.
are. So uh, now, okay, so Van Dijk's pretty much a lock. Konate's the next person who came out really well for me this week.
Yeah,
But
he's a good
I'm
second
not
option.
Yeah, I'm not as sold on him, and I don't know if that's just because of, I guess, uh, historically being let down by him. I guess is how I'd
Got
put
a bit
it.
of Saliba about him.
Yeah, like solid, just I guess hasn't conventionally converted into points. But looking at
Yeah,
these numbers, they're looking
yeah,
much better than Gabriel.
we've been better defensively recently, and then he's been back on form where he is scoring game day squad wise well.
Hmm.
I would pick one or the other. I wouldn't pick both. If I was going to double off on Liverpool defenders, I'd take the risk that Kirkes plays the whole game because I could see him
Hmm.
assisting in this game.
Yep. No, that's fair. Another name who has been pretty good the last few rounds, I guess, in comparison to some of the other defenders who might have been less consistent, is Wan-Bissaka.
Mm,
But against Liverpool, it's kind of I don't want to put multiple. I never like to have defenders from both teams in the game because
yeah, because you're
it,
hoping for a
it
nil.
exactly, and then I'm probably going to be wanting to put some more attacking Liverpool players in there as well. So it's
Yeah.
you can't really win in that situation if you do. Um, Diego Dalot came out nicely for me. Um, I guess it, they've been probably someone who's probably sat under the radar a bit, but I don't know. What are your who else have you got in your side at the moment or considering playing?
So I've highlighted again Villa. So a good double up with Martinez. You could go Cash. Cash is going to be pretty popular. I wouldn't
Hmm.
mind a double up of Villa defenders in general because Consa's
Hmm.
scored like 2 or 3 times in the past 5 fixtures against Wolves. So we know Wolves struggle in the air from set pieces as well. So I've actually
Hmm.
got Consa in my team at the moment with Cash. Um,
Yep.
get a clean sheet there. I've got 3 players that are going to benefit from it in Martinez, Cash, and Conser. And then Cash has a chance of assist, Conser a chance of a goal. Um, Aside from that, like you go Matson. Matson probably going to get stuff for Digne though, or Lugadine.
Hmm.
Bournemouth and City, both 2 options that I said with the goalkeepers as well. I feel
Hmm.
like City could keep the clean. You've now got Eight Nuri as an option back there because he's playing while O'Reilly's been playing midfield. Chance they rotate, but where he's the safer option, obviously. With
Hmm.
Bournemouth, there's heaps of places you could go. You could go Senesi, who's typically a good scorer outside clean sheets. Treffaire's the same.
Hmm.
And then you've got James Hill, who's been pretty good recently. Jimenez as well, if
Yeah,
he's going to play that spot.
yeah. I mean, Hill's been incredible for that attacking return that he's been getting.
Yeah.
Um, like it's still like scoring well when he doesn't get an assist, but 3 assists in the last 5 is incredible for a defender. This is possibly a game where the assists will be there as well against Sunderland. So
Yeah.
I'm big on James Hill this week. I just don't know if I've got good cards is the problem. So I might be hunting one of them down in the transfer market tonight. Actually, one thing we didn't highlight at the very start was we have a very early lockout tomorrow morning. So don't think that you've got tomorrow to set your sides like we normally do.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we're going to have to lock them in tonight unless you're willing to get up for
Okay.
the lineups. Yeah. So got a question here from Peter Quicksilvers again. Thanks, Pete. Which Newcastle defender would you consider out of those 3 there?
First 2. TL scored twice against Everton last time. Everton, strangely, you wouldn't think they're bad from defending set pieces, but I'm pretty certain the underlying numbers are there for it. Hence why he got 2 last time they played.
Mhm.
So I could see similar happening again. You've like Hall scored last week, I think it was. So he's on form. He's a good confidence player. You could go both of them if you're confident that they're going to hold the clean sheet out. There's a lot of different triple ups you could take with keepers and defenders this week.
Yeah. I look, I don't know if I'll have space for them with like the Liverpool. I'm tempted to go the double up with Kanate
Hmm.
and Van Dyke. It's just the only thing holding me back is that kind of psychological aspect, which really shouldn't be creeping in if they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Uh, One who came out nicely, which I accidentally skipped over, purely I think because of recent form, is Mbappe. Now the Chelsea fixture though, how big a concern is that for you with a player like him?
Should start because he's got the form, and I think Arteta likes him. Problem is, it's Arsenal, and you never know who they're going to play. Calafiori's there. I highly doubt he goes back into centre back. He is predicted to start, but yeah, Calafiori's like hovering around and could play there.
Yeah, no, cool. All right, I think that's enough time to spend on defenders because this is a speed run because we've only got 7 minutes until we've got to jump over to the Fantasy Bros channel. So smash through some midfielders here, and your boy Szoboszlai,
Should be good.
one of the best players in the world allegedly.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I don't disagree with that. It's just
free kick wise, for sure.
Yeah. One player who's snuck into the list here, I've just noticed. So I've been playing around with this dashboard all day, and I'm trying to make it as interactive and I guess automatic as possible. And I thought it was filtering out average injured players, but Bruno is still there, so he's still out. Hey, there's no chance of him playing anytime soon.
He's out for like 8 more weeks.
Yeah, so I don't know what's
he
going
might
on
not
there.
be back.
Yeah, but Wirtz, another great Liverpool asset, who's this against West Ham.
Chance he doesn't play is the only thing.
Oh, really?
He was late withdrawing the warm up last week. He's not predicted to start.
Do you know what it was? The withdrawal or
back injury. So it's like it's like cricket. When someone has spasms in their back late, they usually return straight away. I imagine it's that. Obviously, it's dependent on, do they want to play Szoboszlai Cam and then Jones plays right back, or do they want to swap it around and Szoboszlai stays, Wirtz comes straight back in? I could see it being Szoboszlai still at right back.
Yep. Actually, good point. Mel's there in the chat. Don't pick Paqueta, who's also shown up on my list there.
Paqueta.
Yeah.
Out of the league.
All right. So this is obviously not, I thought I'd checked it all, but obviously not that well. Cole Palmer on the list, return to form. I finally play him. He lets me down again.
Mm-hmm.
Is it me that's the problem here?
He got like 11 something, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. But to go like 4 goals in the previous 2 games with an assist. I mean, yes, lots of penalties there, but is like against Arsenal, is there the opportunity, do you think, to get the return?
I don't think so, because he is a little bit reliant on penalties. I think Arsenal are going to be smart enough not to do that sort of thing, although obviously penalties are hard to predict. It's just I think they'll shut it down pretty well. He'll have Declan Rice roaming around him. Zubimendi will probably stick close to him.
Yep. No, that's fine. Speaking of Rice, again, is this fixture just too just worrying to the 2 quality teams who should be able to shut each other down, but possibly in like a not profitable way? That's how I'm feeling. What do you reckon?
So I think we'll see at least probably just one, Rice, Enzo, or Palmer do well. It'll probably one of them will score. I just don't want to pick any of the 3 on the off chance it's just a dead game and they don't do anything. I'd rather let everybody else risk it, or pick multiple of them and then a couple of them don't play well, and then I pick elsewhere and maybe they go right too.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good shout. The midfield is actually starting to look a little bit almost barren, because there's a few big names that we'd normally pick who probably aren't the best option. Bruno last week, my God, 2 points. How un-Bruno was that?
Should be a better game from this one, with Palace sitting a bit deeper.
Yeah. Do you think there's the chance that people are going to jump off him because of last week?
Doubtful, because everyone would have played him.
Yeah. I mean, I hope they don't, because I think he's genuinely one of the better picks this round. But I mean, it'd be nice if some other people jumped off because I am struggling, like ranking wise.
Other teams I'd
Well,
like highlighted were like we've got Bournemouth pretty much all the way through. You could pick. So a lot of
mhm,
people underrate Alex Scott because Bournemouth obviously like most of their good mid to attacking players are all classified as forwards. Alex Scott's one of those ones who's been slowly producing decent numbers most games.
mhm.
And then he shoots a lot for a midfielder. So he's sort of like that Harry Wilson mod, except he plays a bit deeper. He's been like a wonder kid for years, Scott has. Bournemouth finally picked him up, and he'll start to get into more attacking positions than he does over time.
Yeah. No, I think a great shout and someone that's probably not going to be in many sides at all. Nick
Harry Wilson,
O'Reilly. Oh yeah,
my you go with
nice.
Harry, but either these two, these two actually play pretty similar as well.
Hmm. So I think Nico O'Reilly could be very underplayed this week.
Mm.
Up against Leeds away, but still in a City team that's starting to kind of regain a bit of that kind of dog nature. Actually scoring goals and winning.
Yeah,
He's been avoided in this format. He's been very popular in Fantasy Premier League because of his defender status, but I think he could be a decent shout here. Yeah, and yeah, Harry Wilson again as well against Spurs, who struggle.
Spurs looking
They're a
terrible. They're
relegation
looking.
team. Yeah,
I think we're
that's
underrating how big a good fixture Tottenham is to play as well,
yeah.
particularly for players like Harry Wilson, where they're going to open up a bit. He's probably going to get a few chances. So I like Fulham midfielders, attackers in general.
Mhm.
The other game I've got highlighted for both teams is Brighton and Forest. They're the two teams that annoy me the most because they are so unpredictable with how they play and which team you're going to get show up in a given week.
Mhm.
So you could go mids for either of them because both of them allow chances, both of them allow stats. You could go like a Pascal Gross if you've got it. You could go for Anderson because he's probably going to score well regardless. Might have one of his big weeks. I think he got like a 30 plus last time he played them. Or you could go like a Gibbs White if you think he might get a goal against them. But yeah, they're two of the teams you could get some point of differences from for the round.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, we're getting our orders from Mel's in the chat here to keep going, push on to the next position. Yep, we are into Fantasy Bros time. Now, Erling Haaland, he's back. He's probably back to that seventh forget kind of phase. Played 90 minutes, I think, last week, which is something that it was the main worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you mentioned, that Fulham fixture, Jimenez.
Could pick Jimenez, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So at home, average at home is better than, slightly better than his regular average. So it's not crazy different, but yeah, I think that's just targeting the fixture.
The main thing's
Ryan,
putting you off him, and you're about to move on to him, Ryan. So, like, you're probably going to want to have a Bournemouth attacker this round with Malia out and then being stretched back there. So, you've got Ryan if you've got his cards. You've got Evan Nilsson's going to be perfectly fine. He's a decent-ish scorer for GameDay squad. Krupi, you could take a flyer on. There's Adley as well if you've got his cards. He's another one that came in sort of the same time as Ryan in terms of GameDay squad. So you're picking one of those. You're picking Haaland. You're probably going to want to go Semenyo as well,
So
which leaves you
ignore
with one
this.
spot.
I've just noticed again, my new dashboard
Bournemouth.
is feeding Bournemouth Semenyo in still. Yeah, next week is going to be so good.
Yeah.
You go.
Well, then on top of that, you probably want to have a Liverpool striker because Gakpo scored twice against them last time, or you want to go Ekitike or Salah. So, like, the forward line's pretty much set after that.
Mm-hmm. Now, is Salah a genuine option, do you think, or is it a hopeful option?
I'd rather go one of the other two. I feel like they match up better against like who they're up against. I think Ekitike could give their centre backs a bath. Gakpo, who's he up against? I think that's the Is that the Wan-Bissaka matchup? And then on the other side, they've got the Diouf, or they might go like a Walker Peters back there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Salah might be right, but Diouf's probably going to contain him if he's back there.
Yeah. So what about the Aston Villa forwards? Like coming up against Wolves, you think you could target that fixture?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will. I'm going to try a little bit of a pod play and steer a little bit away because they've only scored maximum 1 goal in their past 4 league games because that lack of creativity from all the injuries they have.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess one other name that would probably be normally considering would be Pedro, just purely based on form.
Yeah, just a rough
we've kind of covered. Yeah, it's not the one to be targeting. That those scores are coming on the back of goals, and there's probably not goals in this one. I wouldn't have thought against Arsenal. Even if there is, there's probably 1 goal for Chelsea, and if he gets it, great. But that's a lot of risk to be taking a chance on 1 goal. So yeah, he's not a play for me. Okay, so we've kind of speed run that. Obviously, that's not the best overview of the round, but we wanted to sneak something in just because the round starts tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And I think we all want to jump over to the Fantasy Bros pack opening bingo. Bingo. Because those prizes are crazy good. And I don't play NRL, but I'm gonna play NRL if I pack anything good. So we'll probably just leave it there, to be honest. So okay, that's starting according to Mel. So I did drop that we've got an announcement to make, but because we are starting bingo, I'm gonna drop that in the Discord, I think, rather than announce it here. So keep an eye out for an announcement from the GameDay Society. But yeah, any final pieces of advice, Donald?
Not really. I feel like this week's a stack week where you're going like a lot of the same teams into the same lineups rather than like a lot of different players, like single players or 2 players from one team. And I think that's a good idea. So like pick a couple of teams you think are going to win their fixtures pretty easily and then just stack from them. I reckon that's the play this round.
Yeah.
Last like comment I can see, Tavernier good pod. I don't actually think he'll start. I know he's like looks like he's back from injury and everything, but the form of Ryan, Adley, Krupi, and Evan Nilsson might mean he misses out. Like he could replace Krupi is the only thing.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you everyone who joined in. Yeah, bit of a new format in terms of the dashboard layout. I think I will keep it, but I'm gonna obviously tailor it just because it makes it so much easier when we're chatting just to bring up numbers and things like that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and head over to the bingo if you hadn't already planned to.